Hello everybody, it's Rhonda here from Nelson Soapery. Today we are going to be having our Sunday chat. As most of you know, we usually do this every second weekend, but the last time I was due to actually do this, it was actually my husband's birthday, so I thought, look, I can't just miss his birthday. That would be really mean, wouldn't it? So anyway, today I thought, look, let's get into our Sunday chat. I'm going to answer lots of questions because I've had so many questions about the conference lately. Even before I announced Marie from Humblebee and me was going to come, I still did have lots and lots of questions. So I thought, look, it's super important to answer everyone's questions and hopefully I can help. I'm going to talk a little bit on here as well today about labeling and new people in soaping, because I've had lots of questions about, how we label it, what they need to do. And of course, sometimes, a lot of these Facebook groups, they really do try and help, but maybe they don't have the experience to answer all the questions. And then sometimes the advice can be a little bit wrong or maybe different for each country. So I thought today I'll answer those. But a disclaimer, everybody, I am not a legal expert. This is all just from my own experience, which I'll answer those later. But like I said, now let's start off by answering all the questions about the conference and meeting Marie from Humblebee and me, because we will talk about that because lots of people are asking me. Hello, darling. How are you? Welcome, my love, Nectar, Bath and Body. I don't have my glasses on, everyone, so I'm sorry if I have to really strain to look because I'm pretty sure I left them inside. No, they're not here. But anyway, so the exciting news, which a lot of you may have seen by my social media, is Marie from Humblebee and me is coming to our conference in Australia. So this is in Australia. I've had lots of people ask if it's in the US. No, it's not. She is coming for a holiday in Australia, New Zealand, and then of course she's going to be coming to that as well. Yeah, so excited. Thank you, my love. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm very excited that Marie is going to be at the conference. Really good. Hi, Sabrina, darling. Welcome to our Sunday chat. It is just a bit past 11 a.m. So now I'll tell you a little bit about the conference and why I did this, everyone. Oh, hello, HD Wicks Scented Candles. Hi, darling. How are you? Welcome. Now, when I started this conference, honestly, I thought, look, maybe I can just help people, join a conference, because a lot of different conferences I've seen, they seemed a bit posh, and I mean, I just thought, look, that's fine, but not everyone's like that. A lot of people just want to go to a conference that's really nice, that they understand it in layman's terms. So it's, really comfortable and friendly. And that's kind of what I wanted, to create a community and a learning guide so we can all grow and learn. So really that was the whole part of it. The Australian Soaping and Candle Conference, that I am the founder and owner of that. Hi, darling. Hi, Pia. How are you, my love? The one thing that I have to say is it's not funded by anyone. There's no big group. There's no, huge financer. I have financed it myself. So there isn't anything like that. It's not like a lot of the other big ones that have all this money thrown at it. It has no money at all thrown at it besides what I've put into it. So basically, that's how it works. So the next year coming up will be the third year, which Marie will be coming to, and as a guest speaker and obviously a guest as well. And I have to tell you this, I mean, this is so, how lovely all of our speakers are. Marie is not being paid to fly over. I'm not paying for her flights, nothing like that. We got in contact because somebody else that actually went to my last conference actually came forward and asked her, who was a part of her Patreon, and said, I do actually have this conference, which I wasn't aware of this, but she said, I do have this conference, would you be interested in being a guest speaker? And so then Marie emailed me, and then that's when the emails kind of got going several months ago. So that's basically how it is. So a huge thank you to lovely Pam, who Pam did actually do that. I was not aware at all until Marie had contacted me. So yeah, you never know where something is going to go. Yeah, you love Marie. I know. I think lots of people do. And, you know, look, I have watched her even before I started doing soaping. And, you know, the funny thing I think with Marie is she just comes across as a really upbeat, really bubbly, kind of happy person. And I just think that's really nice. I mean, people love that. You know, let's be honest, we all love that. That's just a part of, kind of different people that we gravitate to. But, you know, I think she'll be a really amazing speaker, and we're very, very lucky. So if Marie is watching this, or she does see it later, a huge thank you, Marie. She knows how grateful I am. I've messaged her that many times. I really am, because, you know, this is just a little conference. This is not thousands of people that come to this conference or anything. It's just a small one that we really tried to get off the ground. And, we need people's support. We need people to come, or we can't keep going. And of course, I'm going to be honest, doing a conference in Australia has been hard, because there's a lot of tall poppy syndrome where, you know, there's been a lot of, not a lot, just a few people that have sort of put it down, which is really hard, because that's hard to get it off the ground. And honestly, I do not make any money. Every year I'm at probably about a $3,000 loss doing it, but I'm committed to helping small business. So that's why I'm doing it. So I thought, look, I'm just going to get that out there so everyone kind of understands that side of why I actually do the conference. So now let's get into some details, and then I'm also going to be talking a little bit about when you're newly making soap. I've got sort of some notes. We'll talk a little bit about labels and stuff at the end of this as well. But because I've had probably 60 emails and messages overnight, I thought maybe it's best just to answer a lot of the questions on here. So the date of the event, it is in Australia. It's in Melbourne, Australia. So it's the 25th of March 2024. And as we are speaking now, I think 50% of the tickets are sold. Of course, you know, lots of people want to see Marie. We do also have Long Story Short Design. They are amazing, and the lovely Jess from there is going to come and talk to us all about design. And so if you need printing and you don't understand it, she will be absolutely amazing for you. They were really good with me when I didn't understand about files, you know, how to save certain files, what files they need to print. And if you don't understand that, they can actually help you design the whole thing anyway. So they will be really good, because last year when we had lovely Beth from Wild Emery, a lot of people took a lot out of that, and they said it was really good understanding a little bit about how she started printing and, you know, her phase 1 until she gets to the boxes of phase 5 or 6, because you're always changing and growing. So anyway, like I said, the 25th of March 2024, the time for that is 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It is a full day. It's totally catered for your lunch, morning tea, afternoon tea, coffee, tea, and soft drinks are all included into the price. And it's a lovely, like, you know, you just help yourself and take what you want. And they do some beautiful pastries and so on. And we've had it there for the last couple of years. And as I said, next year will be the 3rd year. So very exciting. So we literally went from having 20 people on the first one, or 25 I think it was, to then growing every year quite a lot. And now we have, I think last year we had 8 different countries log in, which is very exciting. And so if you can't log in, or if you can't come in, in Australia, if you don't want to come physically, you can also buy a ticket to be virtual. Now, I'm going to be honest, this is probably going to be the last year that I will do virtual tickets. The virtual is so much harder than in person. It takes a lot of work to do the virtual. My husband is actually an engineer, and he has to do all of the computer work with several computers, and it's just a lot of work. So unless we get lots of people saying they really want virtual, otherwise, this will be the last year of virtual, but we'll see anyway. And so now the agenda is also up on the site. Now, lots of people do go to my normal site. It's not my normal site. I do own 2 websites. So the website for the conference is the Australian Soaping and Candle Conference.com. After this video, I will put the links in, but the links should be in nearly all of my videos. And somewhere along the line, I don't know, but somebody has, lovely Chrissy messaged me this morning and had a link, and that link wasn't working, but the website is 100% working. All the fascias should be showing and everything. So there's one link that I don't know whether I posted or someone else did, but it has 404 on the end of the link, and that's why it's not working. But they're all working. The website is definitely working. You can purchase your tickets. There's been more bought this morning. So, yeah, you can definitely go on there and get them. So now it's held at the Brighton Beach Hotel, right on the Brighton Beach Esplanade, which is absolutely stunning. It is up in a Palladium room. So it's on the top floor in an absolutely gorgeous room with a huge screen. And, you know, and look, the thing is, during the break, if you're coming in person, you can go up and talk to Marie. You can go up and talk to Jess from Long Story Short, myself, anybody. You're welcome to talk to all of the people, and you're welcome to talk to all the guests. You know, I'm sure they'll be happy to have a photo with you, and so on. So you're more than happy to do that. You live... you're not well at the moment, darling. I am so sorry. I did look after my beautiful dad when he was sick with cancer. So I do understand not being able to leave. It's quite difficult. But yeah, and that's the feedback we want to know. We want to know if people actually want to, you know, do virtual. So because often people don't buy the virtual tickets to the last minute, and then we're kind of scrambling to find all the information. Hi, Carly, my darling. How are you, my love? I hope I'm going to see you at the conference too. But I know it's a bit of a distance away still. But, and two, just to let everyone know, we do have to cap the tickets, because the venue does not hold hundreds of people. It only holds 100 people. And then it can hold extra in a back room, but we don't want someone sitting in a back room. We want them all to be together in the actual room. So we did have to cap it. And we're also capping online, because it's very tricky. Online, you can actually talk to, there'll be like a community online, so you can actually talk to each other. If you have questions for Marie online, you can actually ask, and like there's like a little, my husband will explain it on the day, but you just put your hand up online, and then, you know, I'm sure Marie or any of the other guest speakers will actually answer your questions at the end, because we do have like a question time, so you can get information as well. So that's what it is. So like the guest speakers, obviously is Marie from Humblebee and me, then Jess from Long Story Short. We have the beautiful Kirsty from Candle Business Coach. So if you're looking for a coach, if you don't know what to do, you know, you really want this to work, because I know what it's like when you can kind of, you feel like you can almost taste success, but you just need someone to help you. She's really good. She does have a free podcast as well. No. So if you want to buy a virtual ticket, someone's asking, is it on Patreon? No, I don't put it on Patreon. And the reason for it is that everyone is buying an actual ticket. So we don't put, yes. So you won't see it on YouTube either. Usually I'll put snippets of it. So I might put a little bit here and there, but you won't see Marie's whole talk or anything like that. Because people coming in person are actually paying almost $250 a ticket. And, you know, I'm sure you can understand it's extremely expensive. Oh, the ticket info, darling. Yeah, so I did put a link over on Patreon. So you can go onto the link on Patreon and you'll be able to see the links to buy the ticket. There's also on my Facebook group and my Facebook page, which is Nelson Soapery, I have actually put an event information. So you'll be able to see all the event info on that too, love. But yeah, I do get lots of people asking anyway, is it on YouTube? Well, no, it won't be, because people are buying a ticket. So we're trying to be fair. And then you will actually get a 30-page booklet as well. It will have recipes. I'm sure Marie is going to give me some. I've got to talk with her in the morning, a Zoom, which is a private Zoom, but we'll be talking about what she's going to put in the book, all of the different suppliers, put in different things. And we also have like a shopping alley. So down the side, you'll be able to touch and feel and see all the different products. So Crafted Surprise will be there with their... they have lots of soap making tools, bath bomb making tools, and so on. So you'll be able to see all of them. We also have Crafty Space with all the glitters, colours, micas, and so on. So you'll be able to see them as well. They are flying in as well, so they are really good. And it's good to get up nice and close so you can kind of see it. And We'll also have some workshops. We're going to have a candle wicking workshop. We're going to have a workshop on room diffusers and a workshop on sprays. So it's a very big packed day. There is no more space for any more speakers. I've had a few people come forward and ask if they can speak. There is not. They're totally booked out now. But in the future, we will actually put a message onto my Facebook page, and on that we'll start to ask people, you know, they can fill in an application to be a guest speaker for the next year and so on, because I didn't realize, but that's how a lot of people do it overseas. But you know, look, I'm learning all the time to everyone to this, so it's, you know, it's such a learning guide. You know, we just learn these things all the time, don't we? So but yeah, so that's a little bit about that. So I hope that information helps. I mean, you literally show up at 10 a.m. in the morning. There will be actually this year, because, you know, it's been quite busy this year. And I think every year, you know, you get more people coming. So and so we'll actually have a list, a seated plan. So your names will be on the seats on the table. So and we will be giving away. So we give away prizes each year. This year will be a stand. Sorry, not a stand, a stick blender from KitchenAid. We'll be giving away one of those. And, you know, when you come as a physical guest, there are actually lots of other prizes. And also lots of the people that are coming, they actually do give away gifts. So you'll get a gift from different people. I know Rosehaven Farms are actually going to be gifting, I think it's some honey. They do it on their farm. They make it on the farm. So that's very exciting. They will be doing that. Usually you get gifts from me and all of the others. I'm sure Crafty Space will also come to the party. I'm pretty sure we had a talk about that. And, you know, look, these are all just a little tiny, you know, sort of like a trial size, I guess. So you can get these little gifts. And it's just really a thank you for coming and supporting the conference. And look, when I first started this, who would have thought that we would have a name such as Humblebee and Me? I mean, she's just so lovely and giving. And like I said, you know, these speakers do not get paid for their time. And on top of that, they actually pay to fly in and fly out. I mean, the end result is what we want. All the people there are obviously going to give them business as well, because you're looking at their business, and then you'll probably go over to their business once you meet them and you kind of understand a bit more. So that's how it works. It's kind of like, you know, a 2-for-1 deal. They pay to come in, but then in the end, usually they'll get a lot of clients, and all the other guest speakers have said that's literally what's happened for them. So that's why we do it like that. And honestly, we don't have the money to pay thousands of dollars for every guest speaker. We would love to. If it was a packed house, we would actually pay speakers. But, you know, we'll see what happens, won't we? But, I mean, that's the goal. I mean, the end goal is that. So, you know, look, it's a lovely day. You don't need to come in an evening dress or anything like that. You know, I say just come in nice slacks and shirt or a tea dress or something. Most people wear a summer dress, to be really honest. Oh, hi, Michelle, my love. We are just talking about the conference, darling. And then I'm also going to have a little talk about labeling. I'm pretty sure Michelle already has her ticket, her virtual ticket. And as I was saying, you know, as of last night, I think 40% of tickets were bought. I woke up this morning, 50% are bought. So, you know, I think each day the tickets will go. And every year I do have someone ring me the week before, a day before, and say, can I get a ticket? And usually I have to say no, because they're sold. We actually, so with the conference, the week before, we actually put a cap on it. Oh, thank you, everybody. So, yeah, so you joined last year. And it is Zoomed, everyone. It is not a recording. So even once you miss it, like, we weren't going to record it this year, but a couple people said they really want the recording because they'll be asleep in other countries or working. We will record it, but please remember, this is a Zoom, so it is not clear like we're talking now. It's a Zoom video. We try and make it clear, but when the recording comes through, it's not as clear as watching it straight up. So that's something that's super important to remember. I do make that pretty clear on many of my posts that I actually do, but at the end of this, I will put all the links down. But if you're on Patreon, you can go over there and buy your ticket as well for Patreon members. So just remember that. And like I said, we will cap both physical and virtual tickets. Anyway, so that's enough about that. And of course, if anyone wants to go over to Marie from Humblebee and me, please go over and see them, as well as our other workers as well. Yeah, you bought your ticket, Michelle. I thought you did, darling. I remember looking at your name when I started doing, because now there's so many different people, I've actually started doing a seating plan. So, and, you know, some lucky people will be sitting next to Marie or Jess, you know, so you just never know who you're going to sit next to on the day, friends. But it is, you know, and there's no favoritism. It's literally, as you book, your name goes on the list. That's literally how it works. But if you want to sit near a friend, please email me and say, I have a friend, I want to sit near her, because we'll try our best, but can't guarantee. Anyway, so that's it for the conference. I hope that was enough information, and so on. Now, at the end of this, I did want to talk a little bit about labeling. Now, it's really hard labeling, and I'm going to be honest, I do know it's very, very difficult when you want to label and you just don't understand, because and when I started, I made many mistakes. Now, the thing that's important is if you have a jar, let's pretend here, this is our jar, okay? Now, you can put a sticker on the top. That can just be a pretty sticker. That doesn't need to say anything much. You know, it could say, for instance, you know, if this was a candle, it would say candle, you know, and your pretty picture. But then on the front here, you need to write what it is at the top. This, I'm talking about Australia. So you would need, we'll pretend, actually, let's pretend this is a soap whip. So you would need to write soap whip, then you would write its name, whatever you're calling it. So say you're calling it Frangipani. Please make sure you've checked copyright, that no one has that same name. So don't go putting Coco Chanel or anything like that on there. So then you're going to have that underneath at the bottom in the center. It needs to be in the center of the bottom with no pictures over it or around it. That needs to be the weight. Now, that needs to be the weight when the consumer gets it. You can also put what looks like a little letter E in front of it, and that's saying the estimated value of, estimated weight of it. So, for instance, you know, if you do a soap, soaps lose their weight. So you're going to say 110, but it could be 109, 1011. So, you know, so you do have a little bit of discrepancy either way. So that is important to do that. Then, of course, when you would turn it around at the back or the bottom, wherever you're putting it, it needs to have your information on ingredients. Now, ingredients need to be listed at the most amount you used to the least amount you use, you know, in that order. So you need to do, you know, this is my suggestion. You need to do your ingredients. You need to do directions of the product, how to use the product. You need to do warnings on the product as well. And when you're putting ingredients, ingredients does not mean just writing shea butter. It needs to be what's called an INCI name, which is an INCI name. Now, it's a scientific name or it's botanical name. Now, literally, you could just Google, you know, you can Google what is the INCI name of shea butter, and it will come up and tell you. So that's important. You must have that on, because lots of people say, well, I'm not going to put that on. I don't think it's necessary. But it doesn't matter what we think is necessary. It's what the law is. So in Australia, you need to have those. There's lots of different references. So if you go over, I will actually put these references on Patreon as well. If you go over to the Australian, there's like a government site, and it doesn't matter what country you're in. I'm sure they would have a government site that is very similar, and it will give you ideas on, you know, what you need to put in and what you don't. It depends whether it's food as well compared to beauty. All of the industries have different things that you need to put on it. You know, and your warnings, you know, like if it was a candle, you need to write warnings like this is a fire danger. On my candles, it says this is not suitable for children. We do not suggest candles for children. They're not recommended. You know, like it just depends on what you need to write or want to write on it. But that kind of protects me as well by writing that. And a standard line that you will see on a lot of lotions and soaps and things like that, it will simply say, if redness or irritation occurs, discontinue use and rinse with cool water. That's the most standard line I've seen on many products. That's what I write on mine. And, you know, then you can write seek medical advice as required or whatever you need at the bottom. But as I said, a disclaimer, I am not a lawyer. I am not an expert on that. But this is just what I've learnt over a long time of actually making products. So it's really important. Please write that. And the minute you sell your product, even if you're only making 1 cent, you need to write that in there. If you're selling soap, no matter, even if you're making $1, giving it away, whatever, you need to actually, in Australia, you need to apply to, you know, for the registration of soap to say you're making soap. And that's with the chemical body of Australia. So it's only $85 a year. I know it probably sounds like a lot if you don't have a lot of money, but it doesn't matter if you sell 1 bar or 10 or even 1,000. It's the same price. So you do need to do that, and it's just so that they have a list of who is selling these kind of products. So I do suggest, you know, doing all of that right. Even if you're new, try and do it right from the start and get into those good habits. And, you know, when I started, nobody would talk about this. Like, I could not find information on how to do this. And nobody knows of these websites. You think, where are they? But it's really important. Anyway, very, very important. So I hope that kind of information does help a bit. I mean, lots of Facebook groups, you know, they all make soaps or candles or whatever, and lots of them will give you good advice, but you also need to do your own due diligence. And a lot of them won't give you the right advice. They'll say, well, you can just write water on there, or you can just write cocoa butter. But, you know, I always say, don't believe everything everyone says. Even me, even on YouTube, go back and still do your own due diligence, which means go back and find out all the information, like research it. You can Google it. It's free to find out all this information, and lots of government sites, they'll accept your call. You can ask them questions, totally free. They don't charge for that. And there's so many links, so please go and check out all of those ones. And I really do hope that does help. Like I said, a little bit on doing all of those things. And, you know, there's so many things to learn in this industry. There are courses that you can do as well. I mean, I know they're costly, but, you know, it just depends. I mean, you can even do some short courses with, I know there's lots of different places around that will have like night classes, and they might only be for a few hours. I have not done those, to be honest. I taught myself, but when I was at school, I had a teacher that was, she was a candle teacher, so she actually taught us. So how lucky was I? And I do remember that very well. And another teacher taught us to make soap. So from a young age, I remember learning all of those things as well. There's also, if you're in Australia, I think they do it a couple times a year, like in the warmer kind of times, I think. If you go to Robin's Soap House, they also do teach a little bit about soap making in small classes. So it's just, you know, maybe 6 people in the class. That's really good as well if you're in Melbourne, Australia, and you want to know a little bit. But otherwise, at the conference, we do a few workshops. We'll not be doing soap this year. The first year, Robin's Soap House did actually do a chocolate soap making course or class, I should say, for us, which was really fun. Penry, Robin's husband, and Robin did a talk and a demonstration, which was really amazing. So I can't remember, but if you had a ticket for that year, you can go back and actually see that particular video, and I hope that does help. They're very, very good in teaching, so I can definitely recommend them for a class. And if they're not available, I'm sure they would recommend somewhere else that you could actually be taught to. Anyway, I will leave all of you, my lovelies. I hope this has been helpful today. Like I said, a little bit about labeling, a little bit about the conference and the speakers that are at the conference. You know, definitely from Marie, because she is coming from Canada to Australia. I can't imagine her coming, you know, all the time, but we are very, very lucky. I think she said 2018 might have been her last holiday trip to Australia. So I thought it was years before that, but she said, no, it wasn't. So anyway, we are very, very lucky to have it. So if you're watching, Marie, we're super excited, and I know lots of people are, as well as they are, like I said, to see the other guest speakers as well. We have some amazing guest speakers, but obviously someone coming from Canada is amazing. Oh, no problem, Youthful Nectar, my love. We will see you next time, darling. All right, bye, friends. See ya.